I've known you for, I think, just over half a year now since I moved to Vancouver. And I remember watching you work in class, and the issue of perfection, not the issue, but the thing of perfection came up. And having been a professional dancer where it's a very perfectionist world and you're regimented to execute at a certain level, how did you find that different between the world of dance versus acting? This whole concept of perfection and then perceived excellence in what you're presenting.
Sorry, I was about to sneeze.
You can sneeze. Bless you.
Hi.
That was a perfect sneeze.
Perfect sneeze. My soul.
You're such a perfectionist. God damn it.
Perfection in dance and acting. I realized, we'll start with the story actually with this one. You saw me in class that I had a panic attack halfway through my scene. It was a monologue. And I just couldn't do it. I just believed like, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. Everyone's staring at you. You're not doing it right. Oh, and I couldn't breathe. And I was just like, and the teacher was like, why are you panicking? What's the point of panicking? Like, this is a safe place, and he's a great teacher. And I realized soon, like, or he kept asking me, oh, are you a dancer? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, in my experience, dancers are perfectionists, from where you come from and whatnot, and were you straight A student? I'm like, yes. And all those things, it was really different because I didn't, in acting, he was like, you don't have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. You just have to be honest. Mm-hmm. And it was such a weird foreign concept to me because, I do many different dance styles, but through ballet, at least, the one I grew up with and where I learned all my self-discipline and whatnot, that it taught me, to not be raw, to not let go, to be a certain place, certain time, have my body in a certain way that's quite alien to yourself. Mm-hmm. And even in dancing with groups, you have to match everyone else. You have to be perfect, exactly the same angle, same.
Not stand out.
Not stand out. Well,
kind of
do a solo, but if you're
but in a group, you want to be
exactly the same. I did a lot of group dancing,
right?
And so for me to be asked to just stand there and be honest and not care how I look, not look in the mirror. There's no mirror in class, mm-hmm. and dance, you're in front of a mirror 4 to 8 hours a day. It was so completely freaky and scary that caused me to panic. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I love about acting. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need technical perfection, even though obviously we strive for it. But mm-hmm. as long as you're honest and truthful and in here, mm-hmm. in your eyes, it's all that really matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's something we were talking about earlier where, of course, there's similarities in terms of like the audience connects to a dancer that's in the moment and it's despite the technical perfection is feeling it mm-hmm. in layman terms. But one of the differences between athletes, dancers versus actors is the audiences with performances in acting connect more to something that's just real and happening, as opposed to holding an athlete or a dancer on a slightly higher pedestal because they're able to physically do things that we as the audience can't. And that is the perfection that maybe dancers and athletes aim for, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah, it's a technical side,
Right.
As we are in any art, or sport, there's technique. And those are always the vessels to carry out your art. As a painter needs the right techniques to paint and express it, but it's so much more evidence in dance, mm-hmm. where that technique has to be perfect,
right,
in order for you to be like an amazing dancer.
Right. Interesting. In acting, when you're doing a scene, there's a word for the perfect way to do a scene. Boring, because it's predictable, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm.